Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, Sean Dumas.
Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another weight loss episode of Bravery Within. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. You guys are following. You guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm getting all kinds of nice compliments. You guys are fantastic. Thanks so much for being my extended family and friends. I enjoy doing these podcasts, and I'm hoping you're getting something out of them as well. And today is kind of a special one to me. There's a couple different things that I kind of like to get behind. One of them, which is not going to be covered in this episode, it's covered in a couple other episodes, is suicide, mainly because I attempted it at one time and I didn't make it apparently and stuff there, so I'm still here, so I didn't do it right or something. But the other one is the mental health. And not just for men, which I have another episode, another series for that one there, but the mental health of losing weight. And I always want to try to cover that there to try to help everybody out as much as I can. So, episode 34 is actually just called The Mental Fight of Losing Weight. And let me tell you, if I'd have known that this would have been such an uphill battle when I started on my own weight loss journey, I'll be honest, I probably would have never made it. And I'm sure you're going to hear some of this on other episodes, but this is something that is very serious to me and to your own weight loss journey. Like I've told you many, many times, I didn't do any research before I started my own weight loss journey. I didn't check into anything. I didn't do any prepping. I didn't do anything. It was January 1st, 2022. I just thumb and Louised it right off the cliff. I just, you know what? I'm all in, and I decided to do it. And I got to be honest with you. If I'd have done the research then that I have done now in the hopes of helping all of you out there, you're my extended family, and I want to continue to help you and just try to provide some information that might make things a little bit easier for you. But if I'd have known then what I know now, I don't think I would have started my own weight loss journey. It's very, very overwhelming, and I'm not trying to discourage you from your own weight loss journey. Please don't take me that way. What I'm trying to do with all my podcasts is I'm trying to just get you information. That's it. That's all I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping that you will jump on your own weight loss journey like me, and you're going to go down that road there like I have been doing. Right now it's month 22 for me. I'm proud of that. I mean, that's almost 2 years, if you can believe that. And I'm around 220 pounds down, and I'm continuing to lose weight. Even the pants that I could get into a month ago were tight, but I got into them, which made the 5th size. I'm down, and now a month later they're fitting loosely. And in fact, my friend, she told me and stuff there. She goes, because I made the comment, because when I was pulling them out of the washer, because I don't dry my work clothes, mainly because back in the day and stuff there, I didn't dry them mainly because I could barely get clothes to fit. So when you dry them, well, we all know the dryer shrinks clothes. So I've been for probably 20 years now hanging my work clothes up, and even my home clothes, and I don't dry them. And I was pulling them out of the washer one Friday night before our poker night began. And I held them up, and I looked at her and I said, I can't even believe these are so small. I can't even believe, compared to the ones that I had, I can't even believe that I fit into them. And she just gave me the look of, I can't believe you can get into them either. I said, I know, I'm so proud of myself. She says, no, you're not understanding. She says, I can't believe you even fit into it because they're too big for you. And it's like, what? No. I said, you don't understand. I said, I was taking the pants and I was laying them out on the ironing board to iron them because I wear dress pants to work every day. And I said, they're so much smaller. I said, it's like, how do I fit in these? And she goes, no, you're not understanding. She says, you are too small anymore for those pants. She says, you need to basically get smaller pants. And I was like, No. And we just, we went round and round for a while there. But it made me feel good. And she didn't realize the boost of confidence that she gave me. Or maybe she did. She's a lot wiser than I am. So I'll be honest there. She's taught me so many things. And I got to be honest, she was on the show, episode 8. This is Rebecca that I'm talking about. And she helps me out with so many different things. And she's still continuing to go down her journey, after the surgery that she got. And she's doing a wonderful job. She's exercising. She's doing everything right. I mean, it's incredible. She's down like 250 pounds. I mean, it is insane. I mean, she's done such a wonderful job, and she's helped inspire me to get further. So, it's all those little things like that. Just looking, you wouldn't think just looking at a pair of pants, you would think, wow, that is such an ego boost. But it is, because I don't jump on a scale. I don't use the numbers to basically validate how far I've come. I use other factors to figure in. And because I do it that way, to me it helps my mental state as I'm going through, because I am constantly being asked, what's your secret to losing weight? How do you stick with it? Do you have any tips for me? And I said, yeah, listen to my podcast. And I said, everything's in there. I swear to you guys, everything that I do and have gone through, they're in my podcast. If you want to know how I'm doing this, I don't make anything up. This is all 100% true. This is everything that I do, and because I want to help you guys out. Like I said, you guys are my extended family and friends, and I want to be there for you. I want to be there when you cross that finish line with you. I want to be there with the pom-poms. And if you could see me right now, if I was being recorded, I'm shaking my hands like I got pom-poms in my hands, because I get that excited for you. I want you to cross that finish line and make the goals that you have set for yourself. And I'm still a ways away. I figure, I was hoping I was only about, I was hoping by next summer of 2024, I was hoping to be, well, basically at the end of this year, I was hoping to be where I wanted to be real close, but I'm not going to quite make it. So my new goal is summer of 2024 to be in the ballpark of where I want. But honestly, probably to be very honest, I'm looking at taking off well over 300 pounds. So my guess is it's probably going to be the end of next year. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Sean, you missed your goal by a year. He said, how can you be happy with yourself? And the thing you've got to remind yourself is like what I remind myself is, those goals can be moved. The trick is, and the key is, I'm going in the right direction. I'm constantly losing weight. Now, do I have days where I oops-a-daisy and I might have too many calories or I might have too many carbs? It's rare, but yes, it does happen. And the first thing that you got to learn is get rid of that all or nothing mentality. Nobody is perfect. Nobody sticks to any weight loss program 100%. Nobody does. It's just not possible. And honestly, there are days where I have to, because I run so low on carbs and calories, there are some days it will give me a migraine and it'll knock me right out of the ballpark. And in fact, the other day I ended up having to leave work early because of a migraine, and I'm sure it was part of it's stress, of course, everything that we're going through in this tough world. And the other part of it, I'm sure it was, is I was probably running too low on calories and carbs, because I keep myself so restrained back that my body was just finally saying, yo, okay, I get the point, we're losing weight, but you got to feed me at some point. So I have to listen to my body, and sometimes I don't. Even though I did a whole episode on listening to your body, I'm not perfect at this, guys. I'm just doing this. I'm learning as I go as well. I'm figuring this out as I go. If I was smart like, a dietitian is, or, a life coach or a weight coach or anybody or a doctor, then it would probably be different. And I'm sure I've had those type of people. Those are the smart ones. Those are the people that went to school and they understand the body. They understand what you're supposed to go through and how to do it. I'm sure they've been screaming at me saying, Sean, you're not doing this right. You shouldn't be telling people. All I'm doing is I'm not telling you how to do this. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it. And if you can pull any information out of it that helps you, then that makes all my podcasts worth it. But I'm not telling you have to do it this way. I basically had to form fit. Like I said before, I probably tried a dozen times dieting before I got to my actual weight loss journey. And so what I did is I took the best of all of those diets that was on, and some of them I didn't take anything from because I just didn't get anything good out of them. But what I did is I took the best of some of them, and I took about 3 or 4 of the weight loss deals that I was on, the diets and the fads and whatever you want to call them. It's completely up to you. There's a lot of good programs out there. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying anything against any of those programs, because those people have scientists behind them. They have smart people behind them and everything else. They've got it figured out. There's a reason why they sell the food and the snacks and the drinks and everything else, because they've got it figured out, and they've spent the money on to do it right. Now, none of those programs really worked well for me. They didn't set well with me. So what I did is I basically took 3 or 4 of those programs and mashed them into the one that I'm doing now. And you're probably going, Sean, okay, you need more carbs because you aren't making any sense. And you're probably right. But what I've learned is if you can take the best of all those programs and make it work for you, then that's what you should do. That's what I did. I'm not saying that those programs are bad in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that at all. Those are big companies. They have taken the time. They've got lots of people that they've helped. They've got lots of testimonials that they can rely on. And I'm happy for them. It doesn't matter how you get the weight off, as long as you do it healthy and you do it in a slow way. I know we all want the weight, boom, off right now. And I would like to be able to snap my finger and boom, it's all gone. But I don't have that power, because I would have started with me, and then I would work and help every one of you out there by snapping my fingers and getting you to your weight loss goals that you want to be at and making things easier for you. But unfortunately, I don't have that power. And I'm really, really sorry that I don't, because I really would. I would share it with all of you. But coming back to, I kind of got derailed there. And I squirreled. I'm sorry. The mental aspect of everything. And this all ties in, because one way or another, you have to find the positives to get yourself through your weight loss journey. I'm not going to lie. Every day is a mental fight for me. I honestly thought 22 months into my weight loss journey, I really thought that this was going to be easier. I really did. I thought, I wouldn't have to work at it quite as hard as I do. I wouldn't have to stress out about making sure that I still cover the bases. But this is so important to me. It's probably the single most important thing I've ever done in my entire life. I know that sounds kind of funny, and you're probably thinking, there's probably a few other things, Sean, that are a little more important. But there isn't to me. And I know that if I quit and give up, I'll never be able to get started on this again. This is an all or nothing thing. And I know I just got done telling you all or nothing. You need to get rid of that mentality, and you have to. This is the only all or nothing mentality that I have on my entire journey, is knowing I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want to give up, and I don't want to start over. And I know that if I was to do anything like that and give up and try to start over, I couldn't. And I'm going to be honest with you. I would eat myself right into the grave. No doubt about it. If I'm going to go the other way, then I'm just giving up, and I'm going to eat every bad thing that I can find and put myself into an early grave. And I don't want to do that. I want to be here for my family. I want to be here for my son. I want to be here for my puppy Willow that is literally laying right beside me right now as I do the podcast. I want to be there for all of them. They mean that much to me. I still want to do my Friday nights and my drives in the hills and everything there. I can't give up. I can't allow myself to give up. But the mental stress that comes with losing the weight seems like insurmountable. Like I said, I honestly thought by month 22, I thought this was going to be much, much easier. I honest to God did. I thought, okay, once we get past, the initial cravings and the getting rid of all the bad stuff, the detoxifying, just getting into the normal groove and figuring out what I can and can't eat and where to be at so I don't bottom out all the time and I get the horrible pains. I really thought, I figured, honestly, I didn't know how long it was going to take. I was always told the first 2, 3, 4 weeks were the worst. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, those were miserable weeks. Not going to lie. But what they didn't tell me is it took almost 6 months for all of that stuff to go away. Now, like I said, I am not trying to deter you at all. What I'm trying to tell you is what you're up against. So that way you can come into this with as much knowledge as possible from somebody that's going through it to help you along your way. Like I said, I am not a smart person. I don't have a diploma hanging up on the wall. I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am not somebody that works out in the gym constantly, a physical trainer, anything like that. I'm not important in any way, shape, or form at all. That's not me. All I am is going through this, learning as I go, and all learning due to the school of hard knocks. So I don't want you to think that, he knows exactly what I am and you should take my, basically take my word as gospel, because it's not, because this is working for me. But take into account, I had to mash several programs together to get this to work, to figure out one that I could stay on, because I know I have to do this for the rest of my life. It's not something that I can just run, lose all the weight, and then give up. It just doesn't work that way, because I know that if I stop trying, then I'm going to basically lose everything that I'd gained. And if I'm going to do that, I was on the verge, I'll be honest, I was probably on the verge of a heart attack, because I was so far overweight, and I already had 2 episodes of either mild heart attacks or severe panic attacks. I honestly don't know which one it was, but all I know is I had them. And we all know a third time is typically not a charm. So I don't want to flirt with death again by going and being 300 or 400 pounds, because we all know that once you give up and you start gaining weight, you always gain back more than what you started with. So if I knew that I was at the 600 pound mark or more, well, I'd probably 700-800 pounds at that point, and then I won't be able to walk anymore. I wouldn't be able to go to work. The depression would be at the max, and then I would just basically eat myself, like I said, right into the grave. So I have to find ways of keeping the mental fight something that I can continuously win. It's not something that I can give up on. It's not something that I can just assume is going to go away. Even though I said I thought it was going to be easier. I honest to God did. I thought this was going to be so much easier at month 22. And it's not. I mean, granted, there are some things that are easier. I'm not arguing that point. I've gotten into a point to where I know what I can eat. I know how the calories work. I know how much I need to eat to keep myself from bottoming out, even though I'm not perfect at it. And you still have those moments. When you run that low constantly, as I do, you're going to bottom out sometimes. The trick is recovering without doing too much damage to everything. But sometimes recovering could be just something as much as 100 or 200 extra calories, and here you come again, or a few, 20 extra grams of carbs or something like that, just basically to jumpstart the system again. You don't have to go so far over and eat 40 double cheeseburgers and 3 large fries. You don't have to do that to get yourself back to where it was. But like I said, I can't go back to that. I just can't, because mentally, I'm not strong enough to take this on again. This is my one and only time. Like I said, this is the only time I'm going to say I'm all or nothing. And this is basically to keep myself on track. Other than that, I know I'm going to make mistakes. I know I'm going to ups. I'm going to go over sometimes. I'm going to be under sometimes. I'm not perfect. I don't have this all figured out. I'm learning as I go. And I know I'm going to make mistakes. But the trick is to give myself a break once in a while. I mean, we all ups-a-daisy. We're human. That's just the way it is. You make mistakes. You can't get away from it. But not being too hard on yourself is also another thing that helps you out. And even though that I've talked about the mental fight that we go through, because if you remember back in episode 15 called Mind Games, that's where I first started talking about the mental fight that you're going to go. Because to me, losing weight is 90% mental. You can make sure that you regulate yourself fine with food. Make sure you only eat so many calories, so many carbs, so much sugars, so much starch, so much salt, all of that stuff. That actually, for the most part, is easy, because thanks to like the packaging that we have on all the foods and stuff there, a lot of that's all. It tells you how many calories are in it, or how much salt, or how much carbs, or you've got all that information right there. Thanks to the labeling of all the food, that takes away most of the work, which helps. And that's what I rely on to help keep myself where I need to be. But the mental aspect, you could be rolling down the road, and if you're anything like me, be fine, just cruising along, happy-go-lucky, rainbows and unicorns all over the place, and then all of a sudden you bottom out and you don't know why, and depression kicks in. And then you wonder, well, what am I doing this for? Or you think you're not losing any weight, because like I said, I don't step on a scale. But then all of a sudden you go and try a new shirt or something. You just go into your closet and try something you haven't worn for years. You hung on to it in the hopes of, well, maybe someday I'll be able to wear this again. And let me tell you, when you put one of those shirts on you haven't worn in a decade, That's like, wow, that is motivation like you have never seen. That will help your mental game all day long. And that's what I keep those shirts around for now, is I keep them there knowing I can get into that shirt. I can get into those pants. And in fact, those pants are too big anymore, thanks to Rebecca pointing that out to me. And she's right. I hate to say that. Now I'm on record. Now she's going to use it against me for the rest of my life. But she was right. It's like, okay, now these pants are too big. And you get all of these signs that is like, okay, there's even the place I work in, one of the salesman's office. He's awesome. I love talking to him. We jive each other back and forth all day long. He's an amazing guy, and he has this really, really small old metal steel chair that he sits in front of his desk for his customers to sit down in when they're talking and ordering things. And it was probably a month ago. I looked at it and I go, no, there's no way that I could fit in. There's no way, absolutely. Before I started, it was absolutely impossible to fit in one of those chairs, because this is like a 1970s chair, and they made them a lot smaller back then because people were smaller. They weren't, fighting, the size like what we are now. And it was like, okay, well, I gotta try this. And I sat down in it. I slid into it without my legs touching the arms, because if you're big like me and you sit in any of those steel chairs, as soon as you sit into them, you kind of like plop into them, and those metal sides that run down that hold the seat up cut into your thighs, into your legs, and it hurts. And just sitting there, and you would think it would, it just drives you crazy. You can only sit there for a little bit. So I got used to literally sitting on the very edge of the seat, because that's about all I could fit in it. And this one here, I got into the chair and I didn't even touch the sides. It was like, whoa, what just happened? And I looked down to make sure I was actually sitting, and it was like, holy cow, this is working. I'm going the right way. And that right there, anytime that I start to doubt a little bit whether this is working or am I going in the right direction, I actually think back to that chair now, thinking I can sit in that chair. And it makes you wonder what else you can sit in or be in, or what else you have accomplished, because I use all of those little things as a marker, but those are huge wins, and that's what you have to focus on to help your mental state out as you're going through weight loss. I gotta tell you, I am incredibly strong, and I'm not tooting my own horn. What you'll get to know that I'm very, very hard on myself. I'm very, very, I'll be honest, the negative self-talk I'm still working on, because I'm very, very hard on myself, very critical of myself. So when I actually give myself a compliment, it has to be huge. And I'm so proud of myself and how far I've come, because I sit in that chair. Even the chair, literally, that I'm sitting in right now at my desk while I'm doing this podcast is actually designed for somebody that's 400 pounds. It's an actual chair that you see in a boardroom. It's huge. And it's designed for people like me, fat people. And I sit in it, and I used to touch the sides of the chair, even as big as it was. It's literally designed for fat people, and that's me. And I can sit in it now, and I can scoot all over the place. My sides don't touch the arms anymore. It doesn't drop down as far as what it used to. And it's more comfortable. And it's like, holy smokes. And I've had this chair now, back when I started my business and I was writing, I've had this chair probably for 5 years. And it was always it was getting to the point where it was super tight, where it was almost getting uncomfortable to sit in. And this is designed for a fat guy like me. And now I can sit in and I can scoot all over while I'm talking on the podcast. Actually, I've switched positions about 6 times because I have the room now to move around in it. And I do that to remind myself of, wow, this is how far I've come. It's incredible. Those are the wins that you have to remember while you're going through your weight loss journey. Because I'm going to tell you, the mental fight to me is worse than worrying about anything else in this entire journey. The mental fight and the struggle that I have, it's every day. Even though I have all these little wins, which are really big wins, but they're all little wins that I've got written down, and I've got some written down here that I'll tell you about here in just a second. They still help you, but you still struggle with the mental fight. Now maybe you're mentally stronger than I am. I'd like to think I'm a pretty strong guy for everything that I've went through, And maybe you're stronger than I am, and I hope you are. That's fine. That's fantastic. This isn't a comparison. I am not trying to say I'm tougher than you or anything like that. All I'm trying to do is tell you about my journey and everything that I'm going through, so I can hopefully help you miss some of the pitfalls that I've went through. I'm hoping to make things just a little bit easier for you. But some of the benefits that I have found so far by going through this that helps my mental state out. And I'll be honest, when I first started out, I mean my mental status was vicarious at best. I mean it was shaky, it was dark. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to do a lot of adjusting in the beginning, and I didn't know I had to do this to make this work. I didn't realize the changes that I was going to have to do, because the mental changes go right along with your physical changes. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit also, because there's some things I want to talk to you guys about here in just a minute. But like I said, some of the benefits that I've already picked up on, and remember, I'm not bragging. What I'm trying to do is tell you this is possible. Because I know before I started, I thought it was impossible. I honestly did not think this was going to work. I figured I was going to just jump off the cliff and give up in about 2 weeks. Honestly, I did. Even though I said in my head, I'm not giving up on this. I'm not letting myself fail. And like I said, about 2 weeks in is when I had my first binge moment, and I crashed and burned. But then I got myself back on the horse, and I'm glad, because some of the benefits that I've already seen is the fat shaming has dramatically went down. I don't get as much anymore, which really shocks me, because I'm still really big. And I honestly thought maybe it's because all my clothes are so big and you can't really see my true size. Maybe that's part of it. But just knowing that the fat shaming has really went down is an incredible motivator. That has helped me so much. And I realize there's probably going to be some skinny people that are listening to this podcast, and that's fantastic. I'm glad. You're all my family. You're all welcome. I really want you to listen to the podcast. But what they don't understand, when you're skinny and weight comes off naturally, or you just don't gain weight, you don't understand the struggles and the embarrassment that we go through. Everybody thinks that, well, you're fat, just stop eating. There's more to it than that, and that's why I push so hard on the mental aspect of losing weight, because 9 times out of 10 that I've learned, and I have done a lot of research, I've done a lot of reading for the podcast and for myself to make sure that that I am on the right track. Most of it is mental. 9 out of 10, it's mental. There's a reason why we're eating, and a lot of us use food to self-soothe and self-therapy to help us get through another day. But the fat shaming has dramatically went down. I can't stress that enough. That to me is almost worth it all, just right there. So you don't get those, ew, what the heck is that? Or you get the nasty, oh, that's just disgusting, as they walk by. Those comments, I don't show that it bothers me, but it cuts me to the right down to the everything, right down to the heart, right into the guts. It hurts. And so, when people make those comments, they don't realize the damage they're doing to these people, to like me. I mean, it's like, this hurts. But what I've done is I've taken them now, and I use those as my fuel, and I use those to help me move forward. Another benefit that I found is I'm 5 sizes smaller in the pants and 3 shirt sizes smaller now. And I never in the million years ever dreamed that I would be back in the sizes that I'm in. I haven't been in these sizes for probably 10 years. And it's like, what a miraculous step back. I mean, some of these, the shirt size is probably 15. So this is incredible for me to make this kind of leaps. I mean, it's like, woo! I eat better than I ever have before, thanks to my son. He's a wonderful chef. He does all kinds of neat cooking. But just buying better food, I'm eating better than I have before. My mental state has gotten so much better after I got rid of all the grudges and everything that I was harboring, all the darkness that I was harboring, and got rid of it. I found that staying on my weight loss journey was easier. But that didn't happen overnight, and it took quite a while before I got to that point. But my mental state has gotten better. And this one here is, don't laugh now at this one here, but I'm not as grossed out when I look in the mirror anymore. I still don't like mirrors. They creep me out. And I still don't like looking at myself. I still don't like where I'm at. but at least I'm not throwing up when I look at myself in the mirror anymore. I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I'm not nowhere near happy with myself when I look in the mirror, but at least I'm not as disgusted with myself as what I was. And that is a huge step forward. And to me, that's a heck of a motivation. And then to top it all off, I'm proud of how far I've come. What it did is basically it's saying that I can tackle anything I set my mind to. If I can tackle this, and this is probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, and if I can tackle this, that means pretty much everything else I can do. It's like opens the door for the possibilities of me being able to do anything. But that doesn't mean that I can be easy on myself. I have to stay the course. I have to be tough on myself. And I know my family is always reminding me, well, you need to, stop the negative self-talk. You need to stop being so hard on yourself. You need to cut yourself a break. Everything that I'm telling you guys is basically what they're telling me. But the thing is this is the way I see it. If I start going easy on myself, and I've already covered some of these, but I'm going to go back through them again just to tell you where my mind set as, and this is what helps keep me motivated, because people constantly ask me, where do you get your strength? Where do you get your motivation? How do you keep going? These are the things that run through my head, and they're not probably good things, and you're probably thinking, Sean, you need some help. And you're probably right. I'm not arguing that point. I probably do need to talk to a professional. But if I go easy on myself, I am afraid that these things are going to happen. The first thing is I will gain all of my weight back, and more than likely more. And like I said, if I go off and I fall off the tracks and I'm done, I'm going all in, and I'm literally going to eat myself into the grave. That's not a healthy thing to say, and I know that. But that's the way, that's what keeps me motivated to keep moving forward. My self-confidence will tank again. I'll no longer be proud of myself. And it's taken me this long. It's taken me 22 months just to give myself just any kind of self-confidence. Is my level where it should be? No. But I have made some amazing forward progress by making myself better, and I'm proud of myself. I can honestly say I'm proud of how far I've come. And if anybody that knows me, they're thinking, wow, I just can't believe you said that, Sean. And I can't either. When I was writing up my notes for this, I wrote it down and looking and go, can I actually say that? Well, I just did. And I'm shocked, if you want to know the truth. My mental health will go bad again. I'll just spiral downhill. I know I will. It'll just be horrible for me, and I need to stay away from that, because that is the reason why I was over 300 pounds overweight, is just my mental status wasn't there. So I need to make sure that I keep losing weight and doing it at a slow rate and doing it at a consistent rate, so that way I can maintain it. I also know the fat shaming will start up again, and I can't go down that road anymore. I am so tired of hearing those mean comments and those rude comments. I just can't go back down that road anymore. I just don't want to hear them anymore. They're just, I got to keep away from them. So I have to stay on my journey. My physical health will more than likely not be able to hold up to the weight anymore. Heart problems or flat out a heart attack is going to happen. I'm almost 100% positive that if I start putting weight on again, then I'm going to have a heart attack and I'm done. Third time is not a charm, and I know it'll just take me out of the running. I might lose my job due to depression, because I know, like I said, my mental health is going to tank. And I know depression is going to come back full-heartedly, and I'll more than likely not be able to pull myself out of it this time. Right now, I still fight it constantly, but I can hold it at bay because I'm proud of myself. My self-confidence is coming slowly. I'll never be one of those where I walk around without a shirt, and I'll never have Vin Diesel arms or huge pecs or anything like that, or six-pack abs. I'll never be that way. And honestly, I'm not interested in being that way. All I want to do is be able to put on pants that I haven't been able to wear since I was 20, is my goal, and look in the mirror and not want to throw up. And I'm already on the second one there. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm actually getting to a point where, okay, it's not where I want to be, but I don't make myself sick by looking in the mirror anymore. So that really, really helps. I might lose my family to them because they're disappointed in me because I didn't follow through with my word. I didn't follow through with my weight loss journey. I may not be right on that one, but in my head, that's what's rolling through my mind, is I might lose my family. And they're my strength. They are my support. They're my rock. They have been there every step of the way through all of this, and I can't thank them enough for it. And I don't want to disappoint them, so I have to keep pushing. The last thing is, I know that I would be a quitter and I gave up on my journey. And I don't want to go back to that person I was before I started my weight loss journey. Knowing that I'm a quitter breaks my heart. I just can't. I can't do that. I don't want to start over. And like I said, I don't have the strength to start over again. It's not there. This is my all or nothing. This is my one and only all or nothing. I'm either going to fully do it or I'm not. And I know if I do the not, I'm done. I'm just finished. I'm just going to eat myself into the grave. It's not going to work. And I don't want to be a quitter. So I keep pushing. And these are the things that motivate me. And I had to sit down. It took me a while to write down a couple of these. I had most of them in my head that they're always rolling around in that Rolodex mind of mine. But some of these I had to sit down and think about. What are some of the true motivations? And so this is what I come up with. They may not be the healthiest things to keep me motivated, but I got to be honest, they're the reason that I keep moving. So whatever the reason is for you, that's what you use to keep yourself going. If you have to write them down, you'd be surprised on, like these are literally on my screen as I'm reading them. They're in my notes. I had to write them down to find out, okay, what are the true reasons why I'm being motivated? I shouldn't sugarcoat it. I don't need to try to, basically, make it better than what it is, or fool myself saying, okay, this is what I'm really doing it for, when I'm not really doing it for. Those 8 things there, those are true motivators. That's what's moving me. And like I said, they're probably not the healthiest. They're probably not the best, but they work for me. And whatever the reasons are that you use to get yourself through your own journey, that's what you do. Just try to keep them on a positive rate and an upbeat. That's what I try to do. And I have to be honest, where I started 22 months ago, I have made leaps and bounds in my mental state and just basically being proud of myself. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm not trying to sound conceited here. And I really, really deeply apologize if it's coming across that way, because I don't mean it that way. I always put myself last. I don't think highly of myself. But one thing that I learned is I have to start thinking of myself sometimes if I'm going to make this work. And I honestly believe that is what has helped pull me through. Besides being a Taurus and being just stubborn and not giving up, this is what helps pull me through. So what I wanted to do also is I wanted to basically come up with, and I found these on mymed.com. And I had a couple of these, but they had more than I thought. And this website made me think these are called emotional challenges. And I'm worried about it because, like I said, it's the mental state that you go through. And I wanted to find, and they're called emotional challenges. And there's a few, 6 or 7 or something like that there. And I'll try to get through as many as I can to talk to you about it. But I want to thank mymed.com for these, because I was reading them on their website, and I didn't even realize a couple of these. If you want to know the truth, it's like, okay, this is something. And I learned, because it was like I knew it, but I didn't know it, and they wrote it down and they put it eloquently, and it's perfect. So I want to go through these a little bit with you. The first thing that they said is realizing that losing weight doesn't necessarily equal happiness, and it's true. Because you may not be still happy with the person when you get down to your target weight. And it's not a bad thing, but some people put too much pressure on themselves and put too much on that final number. Say you lost 40 pounds and you make it, and you get to a point and you go, well, I thought I would be happy and joy and rainbows and unicorns. Well, you may not have the mental start, and you may not be mentally ready for being that 40 pounds down. There's probably still underlying causes that is bothering you. And that's when you have to talk to a professional to help you through that stuff. So just because you lost the weight doesn't mean that everything has been taken care of. It doesn't like everything just melts off of you. And I know that when I get to my target weight. That's why I'm constantly working on my mental stuff. That's why I'm doing forgiveness for things. I've given up grudges. I've, trying to stop the negative self-talk, all that stuff there, because I know I have to do that to maintain my weight coming off. And when I get to my target number, I have to do it to maintain the number. So I know when I get there. But they came up and they said the mantra, "You are still you," can serve as a great reminder through the process. And just because you're changing doesn't mean anything different. You're still you. So, give yourself a break. And if you have to, counseling can help. Don't think yourself as weak because you're going to talk to somebody. I think you're incredibly strong for talking to somebody and getting help. That is amazing. I'm so proud of you. That you are incredible to be able to do that. The second thing, losing weight can make a person feel vulnerable. And this one, I'm going to read the paragraph, because when I read this one here, I'm going to be honest, this is one thing I did all the time, and I'm not going to lie. Losing weight can make a person feel vulnerable. For an obese person, a larger frame may have provided a degree of emotional protection and a sense that they could hide their true selves. Psychologically, it enables a person to feel as though others cannot truly see who they really are. Losing this fleshy protective barrier can leave a person feeling somewhat exposed. And I like I've said in other episodes, I literally hid behind my fat so I didn't get into relationships. I know people, all they saw was the fat guy. They thought disgusting. He doesn't take showers. He doesn't smell good. He doesn't stay clean. His house is probably nasty. All of that stuff. And I literally hid behind that so I didn't get into any more relationships, because I was so terrified about getting into a relationship with somebody else. And to me, that's to know that I would lose weight, and they nailed it right on the nose. When I read that one, I was like, oh my goodness, that described me 100% of what I was doing. I didn't want to feel vulnerable, and so I literally hid behind my fat, and that was a big thing. The next one is losing weight casts a spotlight on a person. Adding to the feelings of vulnerability, dramatic weight loss can bring about a certain amount of attention from others, which may not be all that welcome. And that is very true. And I have to admit that when somebody comes up and gives me a compliment, I don't know how to take it. I've never been good at compliments. I'm not going to lie about that one. It's like, okay, what do I say now? Cheeseburgers are good. Something just crazy. It's like, what? I don't take compliments at all. I don't take them well. And losing weight, people do start to notice. It's like, okay, you're doing great. And it is great. But keep in mind, if it bothers you so much where you can't take it, talk to a counselor. Talk to somebody that is trained in this stuff, and let them help you through the process. There's nothing wrong. Like I said, the mental challenge of losing weight, I think, is the toughest thing of losing weight. Another one there is losing a lot of weight can lead to feelings of anger. When others notice such a dramatic physical change, it can spark a little annoyance or anger. Not all positive remarks will necessarily be flattering. It may be difficult for a person to acknowledge the approval of others who never gave them the time of day before, and who are now expressing positive comments and asking how the weight loss was achieved. And I gotta be honest, I followed that one 100%. It was kind of like, it's kind of like, to me, I never go to my high school reunions, because it's like, I don't want to talk to any of those people because they weren't nice to me in high school. So it's kind of like losing weight. And that's the part that drives me the craziest, is the people that even, let's just say you were attracted to somebody and you were big like me, and they're skinny, and you're attracted to them, and they look at you with that fat shaming look. And it's like, ew, just stay away from me. And I've actually had people come up to me now and give me the time of day and say, oh, wow, looking good, not bad. We should go out. And it's like, oh, no, you had your chance. Now, you don't get another run at me. You didn't like me before. You don't get to have me now. And I know that's not healthy and that's not good. And you're probably saying, Sean, go talk to counseling. You're absolutely right. I'm not arguing that point. I probably should talk to a professional. No arguments there. But they're absolutely right. When I was reading that one, losing a lot of weight can lead to feelings of anger. They were spot on. It was just like, okay, I understand that one 100%. Next one is dramatic weight loss can affect relationships. I have heard this personally, that for those already in relationships, tension can occur if a person's partner is overweight or obese. A person going through such a dramatic change may wish the same for their partner, which can create obstacles and challenges within a relationship. On the opposite end of things, a partner may experience problems with self-esteem, feel threatened, or worry that temptation will be another may force the relationship apart. I know this firsthand. I've heard this a couple times where people have come to me already and said, my weight loss has affected my relationship. And my first question was, did you talk about this with your partner before you started losing weight? And all of them had said no. You have to talk to your partner. That is a huge thing. You are basically changing who you are. Yes, you are still you. No arguments there. That is a great mantra. I love that line. You are still you. But on the outside, you are changing and you look different, and that can really scare people at times because they think, well, I'm going to lose them now because here they are getting all healthy and fit and wonderful. I'm going to lose them because I'm not changing. And that would be, I'll be honest, I would be worried about that too. So, make sure you talk to your partners. Make sure that there's a good understanding that you're not going anywhere and things are okay. Another thing that they came up with, losing a lot of weight can cause intense fear and anxiety. Along with or instead of a sense of accomplishment, a person may become fearful about putting on any amount of weight back on once the ultimate goal has been reached. This fear may lead to anxiety and stress over every morsel that is eaten, or cause a person to deprive themselves of food that would give them the satisfaction or enjoyment. I haven't hit that part yet where I'm worried, but I got to be honest. When I was reading this paragraph here that I just read to you, it did put some doubt in my head. It's like, what am I going to do when I get to that point? Am I going to be so terrified about eating anything? Because I'll be honest, right now, I watch everything that I eat. I know exactly what's going in my body, and it made me wonder, when I get to that point, am I going to be the same way? And I won't know until I get there, but I'm hoping I won't be. I'll just continue to stay the course like I am and try not to let that bother me, because I'm going to try to enjoy getting down to my weight and just maintaining. But I won't know until I get there, so I can't speak for that until I get there. The last thing that they come up with is dramatic weight loss can make a person a little self-absorbed. And I don't think I really need to explain that one. Some people, I have had friends and family members that have lost weight, and then yes, it's all about them. That's all they talk about. That's all they want. They want you to go through it because they think you need to. And I couldn't tell you how many times when people lost weight, they come in and say, well, you're fat, you need to lose weight. Well, I know that, but like I said before, if you're not mentally ready to start losing weight and head down this road and this journey, don't try it. And I know that I can hear doctors, I can hear everybody out there screaming, stop saying that. But this is the way I look at it. I'm telling you not to because of your mental state. Because how many times have you tried diets, failed, and what happened afterward? Depression kicked in, weight come back on, extra weight come on, your self-confidence went down, everything. And that happened to me word for word, verbatim for verbatim. I mean, it just, bam, just nailed me. And that's why I'm saying, so if anything, start at half power. Don't jump all in like what I did. Start at half power. You're still moving forward. You're still doing weight loss, and you're doing everything you can to make things better. And I'm not saying don't lose weight. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is get yourself mentally ready before you dive in. And I got to be honest, I wish I would have known some of these things, but like I said, if I'd have known all the things that I know now, I honestly don't think I would have started, because I wouldn't have had the encouragement or the strength to make it through. And that's what I'm hoping these podcasts do, is give you the strength, give you the emotional stability, and let you know I am behind you. You're not doing this alone. I'm 100% behind you. And I know you're going to cross that finish line and you're going to make the goals that you set for yourself. So a couple other things that, that I've done, and I already talked, but I'm starting to run a little low on time, I've noticed. But here are some things that I have done to help my mental fight while losing weight. Some of these I've already talked about, but I'm just going to blast through this last list that I have here. I ditched the negative self-talk. Basically easy to do when you don't like what you see in the mirror. I'm not great at the negative self-talk yet. I'm probably 75% better, but like I said, I still have some work myself to keep going. I do my best to get some more sleep. I have a lot of trouble sleeping, and I'm working on it, but getting more sleep goes a long ways. When I get a good night's rest, it's amazing how much better I feel, how much better my body runs and everything. I've swapped out healthy meal and snacks for the negative ones. I do everything in my power not to have the bad stuff, but once in a while I still have a cookie. I'm not gonna lie. I still have my Danishes that I treat myself to, as long as I've done everything right through the day and I've budgeted in for them. I still have them. That is a treat. I mean, I work hard to make sure, and that helps keep me motivated. I track how far I've come. Like I said, I watch the pants, the shirt, the even my shoes fit better. It's weird, but it does. The chairs that I can fit in. There's all kinds of different things. That's all stuff that I use to track how far I've come. I've made gradual changes to my life. And you're thinking, Sean, what did you just say? You Thelma and Louise it right off the cliff. And you are correct. But after the major one of starting my journey, that was a major shift. Everything else has been very, very small changes. You're more likely to stick with it if you make just small changes. It's easier to handle and it's not so overwhelming. I do meditate and try to do all I can to keep the stress to a manageable level so I don't binge eat. I can't keep my stress levels to zero. I just don't know how to do it. I haven't never figured it out, and I don't think you can. But I keep it manageable is the best that I can do so I don't binge eat. Like I said before, I made my own weight loss program. I took the best of several different ones. I put them together, and it's working for me. And I know that sounds funny, and there's probably going to be companies out there going, really? I don't understand how you can do that. Just know that it's working for me. I basically wrote my own program, and it's working for me. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's the best thing I can do. I don't worry about the numbers. I just use other things to track my progress. Weight goes up and down all the time, and I refuse to use a scale to protect my mental health. I know there's people out there that have to be on the scale. I'm not against you at all. Absolutely. You do whatever it takes to get the weight off to make yourself feel better. Absolutely. I just know that if I got on the scale and I saw that I didn't lose any that week or I gained a pound just because, either water weight or whatever it is, it would basically deter me. And I don't need anything to deter me, so I stay off the scale. I do give myself a treat from time to time, like I said earlier. That's a reward for doing a job well done and in keeping myself on track. Last thing that I got on there, I haven't done this yet, but I recommend it. This is a good thing for you. Talk to a professional, a doctor, a counselor, a weight loss coach, anything there to help you get through the tough times. And they're going to be able to direct you in the right way. They are much smarter than me. They went to school for this stuff. And like I said, don't feel bad that you're weak or you can't do it on your own if you have to talk to somebody and get some help. There's nothing wrong with it. I think you're incredibly strong for doing it, and I admire you for doing it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm hoping someday that I will. I just haven't done it yet. But talk to somebody there. Hopefully down the road there, I will get in contact with somebody that's smarter than I am and figure out some, other ways of doing my weight loss journey. So, like I said, don't get rid of the all or nothing thinking. Like I said, the only one that I did is I have to stick on this or I'm done. That's the only all or nothing thing. Everything else sticks right into a gray area, and I will still reach my goals. I'm not 100% perfect, and I know that. So I've accepted it, and it's worked into my programs to allow myself to oops once in a while. It's just going to happen. Losing weight is difficult enough without putting yourself through the ringer and being too hard on yourself. Cut yourself a break from time to time, and you're going to find that it's going to help your mental state. You're going to fall off the horse, and you're going to have days where you're going to go a little high on carbs or you're going to go high on calories. Just don't let that destroy you, and don't let you chuck out your journey right out the window. So that's all I can say to that one there. Cut yourself a break and everything will be fine. Remember, you got this. I believe in you so that you can believe in yourself as well. Positive thoughts are going to help you get through the day because that's going to help your mental status out. Keep everything positive that you can. If you get a minute, like, share, comment on my pages. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're growing. We're getting better. I can't thank you enough for tuning into my show. And thank you so much there for listening. I'm getting emails from you guys. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so very much. And when I get brave enough, I am going to post pictures on my own Facebook page about how far I've come. I just haven't gotten there yet. I hate pictures, and I'm getting there. But I will someday post them. So if you have questions or you want to show off how far you've come, my Facebook page, Sean G. Morris, is open, and you're welcome to show off on how far you come because you deserve the accolades, and you deserve us saying good work, and we want to be behind you. Know that I'm always behind you, 100% behind you, and I always will be. So, okay, that's it for this episode there. I'm way over in time again there, so I'm going to end it right here. And I'm going to end it with the dad joke of the day. So, if you're ready to roll your eyes and start groaning, here's the dad joke of the day. Do you know what cake and a baseball player have in common? They both need a batter. I read that one and go, that's pretty cute. I like that one. I never thought of that there, but that's pretty good there. So thanks so much for listening. You guys are amazing. You got this. I believe in you. You're going to make it across the finish line, and I cannot wait to meet you there because I'm going to make it as well. And as always, All my love and support, Sean.